from information to trust and from trust to credit can be achieved, thereby significantly reducing the phenomenon of umbrella collection on rainy days. The system of managing banks. The interaction between German banks and enterprises has always been known for its long-term and close nature, so much so that banks are called butler banks. A German bank will accompany an industrial enterprise the entire process of decline and change from cradle to grave, from establishment to liquidation. Is on page a vivid portrayal of this relationship, against the backdrop of the transformation of large banks, the development of internet banking, and the increasing demand for the age of great stability from World War II to the merger of economy of Germany. The German economy revived and created economic miracle, the era of financial stability. During this period, monetary reform achieved great success, and a culture of long-term stability and stability in prices was formed and consolidated. The three-pillar banking system has been able to maintain stable financial structure. The level of financial development has remained generally stable, with few large-scale financial risks occurring. The great practice of social market economy has been launched with great success in monetary reform. Post-World War II Germany, the country's prices have once again risen rapidly, and the economy has rapidly deteriorated into a barter economy. The function of currency is almost lost. Only when a crisis reaches the most difficult stage can it force effective solutions. This solution is often a significant theoretical innovation, he said. Under the philosophy of the Freiburg School, the Western occupied areas, that is, the US occupied areas, the British occupied areas and the French occupied areas, implemented the monetary reform in January, and the exchange ratio of replacing the imperial mark with the Deutsche Mark was, except for the cancellation of government agency debts. Other debts were reduced in the same proportion to reduce the LUTs and money supply. At the same time, it is supplemented by measures such as liberalizing price controls, introducing market economy, adopting tax policies to stimulate production, and the cooperation of the monetary policy of the Bank Deutsche Elmdebdel with the German monetary reform, which has achieved great success. The long-term accumulated inflationary pressure has been steadily released, and the production order and capacity have rapidly recovered, which has restored the confidence of the German people in monetary stability. At the same time, these measures also eliminated the supply-side factors of inflation, laying the foundation for Germany to maintain long-term monetary stability and the post-war economic miracle. Even today, Germans still regard the currency reform as the root of the economic miracle of the Abelschhauser. It is gratifying that new explorations have emerged. Roughly speaking, new exploration follows two paths: path unfolding. The first path is rooted in the socialism with Chinese characteristics economic system. We should think carefully and deeply about the unique system and mechanism of China. What kind of financial system do we need in an Oriental country with unique culture, or what kind of financial system is more suitable for the socialism with Chinese characteristics, economic system with Chinese characteristics, which is more conducive to the socialist market economy system gradually becoming mature? The second path is to expand the scope of learning and learning from developed economies. Japan, these market economy countries with other civilized traditions. In my opinion, this book mainly conducts research along the second path. However, due to its clear China problem orientation, it also contains profound implications of the first path. In this sense, The Mystery of Finance, a comparative study of the German financial system, is worth reading for those who are concerned about China's financial reform, monetary and financial policies, and even the development of financial theory. It is particularly worth pointing out that this comparative study also has commendable methodological aspects. The Mystery of Finance, a comparative study of the German financial system, unlike some previous works that focus on comparative analysis, aims to uncover deeper institutional conditions that enable these institutional arrangements or practices to generate, develop, and stabilize their effects, rather than proclaiming certain doctrines or best practices. It explores the institutional arrangements or practices of Germany that the author believes are worth learning from. After putting in so much effort into organic anatomy, the author actually further tells readers what German experience we can learn and what we need to create certain prerequisites to learn and implement, which we can expect but cannot achieve. I believe that starting from the concept of dissecting the body and using this analysis as a foundation, we can avoid falling into the dilemma of calling for more than 20 years of vigorous development of direct financing with little effect, of course due to the same reasons. After reading this book, I further strengthened my desire to learn something from Germany. After all, China's financial system, which focuses on bank financing, has collectivism as its top priority, and the pursuit of fairness in society has made it seem that there is a stronger relationship between China and Germany based on these national spirits and social backgrounds. It seems more advantageous for us to learn from Germany's experience in developing the financial industry. 3. It is precisely because the research and writing of the entire book revolves around the China issue that The Mystery of Finance, a comparative study of the German financial system, banking, cement, beer and other enterprises with large sums of money. In just 4 months, 5 foreign institutions directly or indirectly invested in domestic cement-listed companies. However, to some extent, the influx of foreign financial capital, foreign financial institutions will also play a role of catfish effect, accelerating the process of China's financial reform, stimulating Chinese people's original investment awareness, indifference and numbness of the financial concept. Secondly, the currency position difference is too large. The price of a country's currency, also known as the exchange rate, is actually all domestic goods compared to US dollar assets. RMB assets undoubtedly have huge room for appreciation and speculation due to their total bid price. The essence of financial transactions is speculation, and places with stories will naturally attract international financial speculators. The consistent expectation or premeditation of RMB appreciation has caused excess global liquidity to accumulate in China on the one hand, settling on physical assets and resources such as real estate and stock market, triggering various RMB asset protection in China war. On the other hand, the excess funds are driving the innovation and development of financial derivatives such as stock index futures, options, commodity futures, etc., causing China's virtual economy and real economy to grow dually separate, because only through the development of financial derivatives can the connection with the domestic real economy be blocked, creating a space for international speculators to freely speculate and allowing excess currency to evaporate as much as possible, such as the rapidly developing derivatives market in the City of London after the financial bomb. May it avoid domestic real resources being hijacked by international financial capital. The anti-Japanese war itself and the development of the virtual economy mean that China is being pushed into the era of financial civilization by international speculators. Thirdly, the complexity of China's financial sector is very high. This complexity is mainly reflected in different types of A shares, B shares, H shares, etc. Parallel coexistence of stocks and their corresponding rules. The staggered operation of various investment mechanisms such as QFII and QDII. It may even form a coexistence pattern of multiple financial centers such as Hong Kong and Shanghai. However, on the one hand, simpler things are less prone to errors, and more complex things are more likely to have vulnerabilities, which are easily exploited. At present, there is still a long way to go before the game rules in all aspects of China's financial sector are in place. The improvement of the game rules in the stock market itself and the establishment of rules in other financial markets, including futures, options, and other derivative markets. Future society will be people-oriented, and meeting people's various emotional needs will become the source of new business opportunities. Neil Pinker proposed in New Thinking that the 6 senses that the right brain era should possess include a sense of design, storytelling, symphony, empathy, entertainment, and exploration of meaning. And business opportunities lie in the experience of these 6 or even more emotional needs, such as doctors using laughter, yoga, entertainment to heal patients, transforming old factories into modern office spaces with a sense of design, the opening of the Cube era empathy of high school, university, white-collar SNS social network services on the campus network will undoubtedly bring about the reconstruction of industrial boundaries, leading to the emergence of a large number of new industries and former TUS On the other hand, whether it's the older generation who thinks with the left brain or the new generation who thinks with the right brain, in this comprehensive integration in the era of unity, whoever can represent the interests of the greatest majority will ultimately win. Deng Xiaoping adhered to the four cardinal principles: turning right to carry out reform, opening up and marketization, and took the middle path of giving priority to efficiency and giving consideration to fairness, so that China got rid of the ideological struggle and rose rapidly, relying on economic development. The same applies to business opportunities. Whoever can combine left brain and right brain can free from constraints and allow various elements to fuse and collide under the catalysis of creativity and imagination, so that they are no longer just looking for business opportunities, but creating them. The left and right brain connection may open up business opportunities from three aspects. One is the application of new technologies in the wave of wisdom, ecological civilization, financial civilization, etc. under the impact of various right brainization approaches. It will upgrade at a faster pace and become a carrier for generating business opportunities. Secondly, various countries may show their respective skills in seizing the commanding heights of wisdom. For example, the United States has already launched T-ERIC plan to study wisdom. And there are still people in China who want to build smart banks. This trend will make people pay more attention to balancing left and right, and various alternative ideas such as whether software can be downloaded and memorized in the future will bring new business opportunities and sparks. Thirdly, for most enterprises, it is difficult to achieve a left and right brain connection. So it may be the norm to be forced to upgrade the version due to being dragged by the situation. A small number of enterprises with unique thinking will unleash their creative imagination, see through changes in the situation, grasp policy trends, and quickly occupy techno. Although it has been proven that the skyrocketing stock index and the instantaneous expansion of market value are not sustainable, whether it is a securities investment base, the number and scale of institutional investors such as gold, QFII, and QDII, as well as the billions of individual investors, as well as the financial asset equivalent that accounts for half of the stock market, and the degree of securitization of state-owned assets, all indicate that China's economy is undergoing sustainable and irreversible structural changes. The capital market is becoming one of the most important wealth management platforms for governments, enterprises, and individuals, and China is shifting from commodities. The era has entered an exciting era, the era of capital finance. In China's capital and finance sector experienced unprecedented explosive growth. WTH, the Shanghai Conspiracy Theory has increased from multiple points. It is undeniable that there have been instances in history where certain families or consortia controlled a country or the international financial system for a certain period of time, such as the Rothschild family, the Morgan Consortium, etc. However, in today's global financial integration, financial strategies between countries and the strategies of multinational consortia are highly likely to hedge or offset each other in the process of implementation, even if the conspiracy is successful. As a member of the international financial system, it is also difficult to stay out of the crisis. Just like Nazi Germany provoked World War II, but was finally destroyed by World War II. Thus, compared with honest labor and to each according to his contribution in industrial economy, financial civilization controls capital with wisdom, but the result is full of uncertainty. And the most important point is that Fukuoka once said before that story is the general equivalent of financial civilization. Its characteristic lies in identifying the differences in things and exaggerating them infinitely. One of the reasons why Britain and the United States can monopolize the forefront of financial civilization is this. For example, when Morgan Stanley opened the door to the non-performing asset market in China's banking industry in the problem faced by the Chinese banking industry was clearly how to reduce the non-performing asset problem in new loans, while Morgan mistakenly described it as how to dispose of existing non-performing assets. In the United States, Morgan's main method of disposing of non-performing assets is clearly to buy them and wait for the recovery of the macroeconomic environment. But in China, they promote the so-called popsicle theory rather than slowly melting them down. It is better to sell them quickly. And for a long time, the U.S. Congress has always regarded real trade as the entire economic issue between China and the United States, and has been working with the White House to reap the benefits one by one. So, it's not just small scammers who are scammers, but big companies, institutions, and countries. As the saying goes, behind every huge fortune lies a profound evil. The financial explosion has brought unprecedented prosperity and high-quality living enjoyment to people. But it has also laid the foundation for injustice, the seeds of sex, uncertainty, and deception, just like the industrial economy. Start from utilizing resources to being limited by them, from creating wealth to wasting wealth. And when a thing develops to its extreme, alienation arises. In this way, it seems easy to imagine the terrifying prospect of a financial civilization that is passionate about storytelling. On the one hand, the alienation of credit. The financial explosion has exploded the connection between tempting interest rates and honest products, such as the bond monetary economy based on credit. But with the increasing growth of financial derivatives, credit has gradually been hijacked by a group of people who love to tell stories and lack integrity, leading to the most abusive use of credit in financial civilization. The most lacking aspect is integrity. The reason why the subprime crisis triggered a run on banks was not that creditors did not believe in the strength of financial institutions, but that they did not believe that other creditors would believe in the short-term nature of the bank's crisis and would make rational choices to support each other. On the other hand, although the financial crisis is not driven by morality, it will ultimately change morality. If agricultural civilization is shortage economy through the 3 cardinals and 5 constants to curb human desires. Industrial civilization is an excess economy that tempts and indulges human desires through advertising culture. The financial civilization is an economic bubble, forging yin and yang people by telling stories. Many overseas hedge funds with illiquid financial derivatives often artificially manipulate prices and go to investors to solicit credit, even offering bonuses for their good performance. At the beginning of this year, while major international investment banks were singing short of China, they were building positions and applying to increase their QFII quota on a large scale. But none of them fell, demonstrating their yin and yang nature undoubtedly. In fact, all financial market participants, including managers, are determined by their interests, and Greenspan is no exception. If he were still the chairman of the Federal Reserve believing that the subprime crisis would not be avoided, could he still find answers for irrationality? Following closely the United Kingdom and the United States, financial civilization began to strike the Chinese coast. Consistent with the rapid development of China's economy to this end, China's capital market seems to have matured overnight. In more than a year, the securitization rate has rapidly reached %. Obviously, there is no acclimatization of financial civilization in China, and the most suitable terrorist prospect for Chinese financial civilization lies in the national charter itself first. Smart and flexible, China has always had the tradition of eastward spread of Western learning has spread to the East and foreign things are used in China. Having suffered from the loss of financial giants in storytelling, they quickly changed their minds to become masters of their own. For example, among a share-listed companies, the increase in issuance is ostensibly aimed at improving their operating ability and strengthening their main business. But in fact, there are not a few people who use the money they have raised to speculate in new shares. In the process of promoting marketization, administrative monopoly has also been strengthened, which is precisely the expression